You're going cold. I want to go warm. Good morning, WW Robinson. Today is March 26, 2019. I have Esmeralda here with me this morning. How are you, Esmeralda?
Good.
She has moved out from behind the screen to in front of the screen. She's super excited today. And it is Tuesday. As Ms. Urbach said, it will be Tuesday all day. All right. And it is day 4 in our rotation. And it'll be day 4 all day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us what's for lunch.
Vegetable beef soup, crackers, some butter and jelly sandwich, veggie dippers, orange wedges, grapes, choice of milk.
All right. Harper thinks that's a great lunch, don't you, Harper? All right. And let's see, we have Axel here this morning to tell us about the weather. So Axel, come on over here. Tell everybody, what's it going to be today?
Sunny.
Sunny. I love it. Thank you. Good job. And we have Gavin to lead us in the pledge, so please stand. Other way. Switch it. There you go. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Gavin. Good job. Please join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. All right, we have a couple birthdays today. Celebrating today, we have Enrique Hernandez Araujo. Hope I said that right. And Adriana Lobo Cabrera. You're killing me today. Alondra Rivero Rodriguez and Lillian Wisner. So happy birthday to those folks. Hope you have a great day. And there are no staff birthdays today. And we have Brianna here to share some kindness quotes. So Brianna, come on over. What do you have for us today? Let me hold that up there so we can see it. So you want to tell us what this is about?
So it says, can't, can. If you think you can't do something, you just need to put hard work into it and you can.
All right. I love it. I like that you marked out that can't, because I agree. Anything you want to do, you can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Brianna. Nice job. All right, Esmeralda. I hear this morning there's a coup to take over the morning announcements. Apparently, Esmeralda and Ellie are trying to push me out. So on the last day of school, but I'm not sure they're going to wait till the last day of school. So viewers, you might have to put in your votes and tell them how much you love Miss Proctor doing the morning announcements, because they're trying to push me out. They think they can do a better job, I think. Yeah, I think they can do a better job. All right, Esmeralda, do you have any shout outs this morning?
Miss Weimer's class, Miss Gerard's class, Miss Henry's class, Victoria, Delilah, Eliana, Lily, Stephanie, and Sophie.
All right. So let's see. When we left off yesterday, they were heading to the backyard to see if they could find Billy. Wait a second, Tazy whispered and closed her eyes. I think I hear something. I'll say one thing about Tazy. She's one gutsy girl. She walked right around the house on her own. Alexander and I had no choice but to hurry to catch up with her. When we rounded the corner, we all stopped suddenly. Billy had a huge backyard. It was completely overgrown with grass and weeds that were so tall they came almost up to my knees. Walking across the yard made me feel like we were walking through the wilderness instead of the suburbs, and I suddenly got nervous about the possibility of wild animals hiding among the weeds. just waiting to pop out. Not that there are many wild animals around here, but you never know. At the very back of the yard, there was a large wooden garage. The roof was carved in on one side. All of a sudden, I hear the music too. This is a bad idea. We should leave. I don't want to be here anymore, I said. But Tazy was already halfway across the yard, heading straight for the garage. I turned to Alexander. You know, if we band together, it would be 2 against 1. Who died and made her captain of our world? Well, as far as team captain of the world, I'd rather it be her than me or you. No offense, but she's kind of a natural. Plus, I'm sort of having fun. You are? Benji, let me explain my life to you. I go to school, I study, I do flashcards, I practice the piano, and then I practice the violin. I do more studying and then more flashcards. I get to watch a half hour of television on the weekdays and 1.5 hours of television on weekends. And I've recently been signed up for tennis lessons, so my dad is showing me videos of Wimbledon champion tennis players who can serve at over 100 miles an hour. Pretty boring, right? But what's worse is that as cool as this total recall thing I have might sound to you, it's also a huge pain in my butt, mainly because I can remember every single boring day I have down to the tiniest detail, whether I want to or not. And trust me, I have had a lot of days that were totally forgettable, and I'm stuck with them. I thought about the fact that I'd had my share of boring days myself. Lately, even the hospital was a big snooze fest. You've seen one morgue, you've seen them all, Alexander continued. But this day, so far, hanging out with you and your dog at lunch, watching your dog save someone from drowning who wasn't even drowning, having a girl like Tazy boss me around, having you guys think my freaky brain is useful for our super awesome adventure, well, this is stuff I only dreamed of doing. And frankly, I don't want this day to end, ever. But when it does, it may be the first time I'm truly happy that I will never be able to forget 1 second of it. Although I really hope you won't be too upset if we don't find your lug nut here. And just because we don't doesn't mean it's actually gone forever. It could always turn up later. Maybe. Hopefully. Did you know it's a known fact that people who are optimists live longer? I looked at Alexander with new eyes. Instead of looking at our extremely dangerous current situation as nerve-wracking and scary, which is how I had viewed it, Alexander saw it as the adventure of a lifetime. And he was right. As useful as his brain disorder seemed, there were probably just as many times when it was no fun at all. Maybe Elvis was right. Maybe I did need an attitude adjustment. Maybe I didn't need a pack of friends to give me a whole new perspective on the world. Well, if you're in, I'm in, I said. Alexander beamed. Should we make up a secret handshake? I smiled back. Maybe we can work on that later, okay? Right now, I think it's best if we just try to stay close to Tazy, in case she needs us. Alexander nodded. Or in case we need her. Yeah, that too, I laughed. And we both took off toward the garage. As we walked through the tall weeds, I wondered if this was why Billy never wore shorts to school. I turned to check on Elvis, and his fur was almost dry, but now had lots of stuff caught in it. When we rounded the corner of the garage, we found Tazy crouched down, peering into a window. The music was really loud. I put my hand up against the window and felt the glass vibrating. It's not good for your eardrums to listen to music that loud, Alexander whispered. What did you say? I whispered back. He frowned and looked back at me. What? I can't hear you. What did you say? I don't think we have to whisper because it's got to be even louder inside. What? I can't hear you because the music is so loud. Now I was practically yelling. Tazy waved at us to be quiet. I cupped my hands and peered inside too, but the windows were painted completely black. I leaned in and whispered into Tazy's ear this time. It sounds like there's 100 people in there. Those aren't good odds for us. I don't think that's actually people. I think it's music. I think it's a live album. One of those ones where they record a concert. Tazy whispered back. I think I've heard this record before. My dad listens to it. Alexander leaned into me. I've been listening to the words. It's about prison. It's about prison. The song, I mean. I don't think it's a good sign when someone paints their windows black and listens to songs about prison. It means they're hiding something. Tazy nodded. I know, and I can't wait to see what it is. And with that, she crept along the wall. I'm going to go look for another window. Interesting. Where I feel someone hiding something means they should have their privacy. Tazy is the opposite. She gets only more determined to discover their secret. Even though I really wanted to go home, I continued on. I hope this new spirit of changing my attitude didn't backfire and end badly for me. And by end badly, I mean with tied up in a garage by a bunch of singing Sorry. And by ending badly, I mean with me being tied up in a garage by a bunch of singing escaped prisoners. As I tried to move, I realized I wasn't going anywhere. Something had me. I turned around and saw Elvis holding onto the back collar of my shirt with his teeth. Phew, I'm glad it's just you. What's wrong? What exactly are we trying to accomplish with this particular covert mission? Why aren't we just going up to the garage door and knocking like civilized people? We're trying to see what's going on first. Well, Tazy is. I personally would love to cut bait and leave. I can now smell Billy Thompson in there, so why not just knock and politely inquire if he has your lug nut? Also, you should let him know that listening to Johnny Cash this loud is not good for his eardrums. Why young people insist on listening to music so loud, I'll never know. One of the little girls who lived on the farm played her pop music loudly too. If I had to pick, I'd go with Johnny Cash over pop music any day. You know this song? Elvis nodded. It's a classic, Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash. Yeah, I don't know that one. Sounds old. Come on, let's go find them and see what Tazy wants to do next. I'm not in charge. No, I guess not. So what you're saying is that Tazy has been designed as the alpha of the group, and so you must go along with her wishes. That makes much more sense. Okay, carry on. When we rounded the corner, I saw Tazy standing on top of a woodpile stacked along the back wall. She was making her way to a higher window. I've spent a lot of time in the emergency room, and I've heard of some pretty stupid maneuvers. People standing on top of phone books, which are on top of stools while wearing high heels to try to change a light bulb. People climbing out onto roofs to clean out storm gutters. Meaning lots of bad stuff happens to people when they climb things that aren't supposed to be climbed on. So I didn't like seeing Tazy up there at all. Tazy, come down. It's not safe. You're going to fall. No, I'm not. I was a gymnast. I have awesome balance. One of you come up here so I can boost you up to look into the vent over there. Alexander took a step forward, but I pulled him back by his shirt. No way. That's nuts. There's risk and adventure, and there's total stupidity. I looked up at Tazy. Get down, Tazy. I mean it, or I'm going home right now. Tazy jumped down from the woodpile. Sorry, Ben. I didn't mean to scare you. Maybe we should just go knock on the door, I suggested. Everyone nodded, and as we headed around the last corner, we spotted a window that wasn't painted black. The shade was pulled down almost all the way, but there was still 2 inches on the bottom where we could look in. We all got on our knees, cupped our hands around our eyes, and peered in through the dirty glass. Now we couldn't see very much, but the first thing I could make out was one of those bench press weights machines. I recognize it because we have a set in the garage for the twins. Then I noticed something on the floor that completely blew my mind. Are you seeing what I think I'm seeing? I asked Alexander. I'm not sure, but if you're seeing what I think I'm seeing, I can see why you're asking me if you're seeing what you're seeing, because I'm still unsure if I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I think. It had to be fate that Alexander and I had found each other, because weirdly, I understood exactly what he was saying. Before we could confirm that we were both on the same page, Tazy said exactly what we were both thinking. Am I crazy, or is that part of a leg on the floor over there? I nodded my head up and down so hard I felt my eyeballs shake in their sockets. Do you think it's real? It can't be real, right? I asked. I don't see any blood, Tazy whispered. I mean, it can't be real. Billy Thompson may be a lot of things, but there's no way he's the guy who chops off a leg, cleans up all the blood, and leaves it lying on the floor like it's nothing. Maybe that's why he plays his prison music so loudly so we can't hear the people scream, I said. Now, do you think that's what it is? I don't either. It's definitely not real. I would be able to see it better if someone bothered to clean these windows. For a moment, I was relieved, but then I realized that either way, a leg on the floor was weird. Okay, it's not real, I whispered, but how much better is it that there's a fake leg lying there on the floor? Well, at least it's got a cool sneaker on it, said Tazy. So let me get this straight, I said. You're more concerned that the leg lying on the floor has a cute sneaker on it? Seriously? Because I could care less about the sneaker that is attached to the leg that is not attached to a body. I wish I could wear high-top sneakers, but they just don't look right on me. I'm too short, Alexander sighed. You guys! Who cares about the stupid shoe? What I want to know is, why is there a foot and part of a leg lying on the floor of Billy Thompson's garage? My own feet tingled just looking at it. This has gone totally creepy. We got to be at the wrong house. Alexander, are you sure you saw the address right? I stood up and dusted off my knees. I don't make mistakes. This is it, I swear. But maybe this garage isn't Billy's. Maybe they rent it out to someone who likes fake feet, who likes fake feet and working out. Guys, come look. Tazy waved us back down. Honestly, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to see anything more. But I got back on my knees, cupped my hands over my eyes, and peered back into the tiny sliver of window. Now there was someone sitting on the bench press, and right next to him was a guitar, but we still couldn't see his face. Oh, that's definitely Billy. That's the shirt he had on today, Alexandra said. I recognized it because there was a brown stain on the front bottom right that looked like Mr. Peanut. I looked in, and sure enough, there was a stain on the front in the shape of a peanut wearing a top hat. Just then, the person sitting in the chair leaned forward, picked up his left leg, and pulled off his sneaker. Then I saw something really crazy. Where his foot should have been, suddenly there was nothing there at all. Holy moly, I thought. Is Billy Thompson so strong that he just pulled off his left foot and his shoe? I didn't even know that was possible. Wait a second. What was I thinking? That wasn't possible. Billy Thompson just removed his entire left foot. And not only did he remove his foot, part of his shin came off with it. Even as I watched it happen, I wondered if it was all just a crazy dream. I felt lightheaded. I started to spin. I felt warm. Oh man, if he takes off his head next, I'm so out of here, Alexander said. And then I fainted. All right, we're going to stop there today. Here's chapter 13 for tomorrow. I'm not sure what a go-kart has to do with it, but I think that it's safe to say Billy has a prosthesis leg. What do you think? All right. So you can be the kind of leader that you would follow and make it a great day. So long.